Rolling Stone. I grabbed the wrong one.
Oh, no. You did that on purpose.
Welcome. It's Tuesday night, October 18th. I'm sitting in Janesville, Wisconsin. It's like 40 degrees outside in Wisconsin. We have the Dave Novak with us with the Mean Farmer, your 2022 4-1 Limited Pro Stocks champ. And I can attest that man can drive a pulling tractor because he whooped my butt all summer long. And the Ron Stone sitting below me.
I believe it's Roan.
Ron Stone. So
I can't tell if my hat's crooked or what's going on. What's happening?
So Chandler made me that awesome video for the show, one of my employees for Beer Money Pulling Team, and then I picked the wrong one out of the Google Drive because I was talking to Novak. I forgot which one it was, so I feel bad. So, but we do this every Tuesday night, everybody. Outlawed Live, again, with Jason and Ron here. We've been talking to pullers, we've been talking to young guns, we talked to promoters, everything about the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, with a lot of focus on celebrating our points champions, which we will do at the Outlaw Banquet at Margaritaville here the weekend before Thanksgiving, November 18th or 19th. But it's good to really sit down one-on-one like this with our fellow competitors and our points champions. And winning an Outlaw points championship is a marathon. It is not a sprint, and Dave can attest to that. We, the 4-1s, I think, Dave, we had 29 total points hooks for this season, right, bud?
I believe it was 29, yes.
Yes, so that's a big number. And it's not in just one state. We were all over, so.
And I don't remember the average hooks a night, but I want to guess we were pushing 16 to 18 hooks a night.
Yeah. I don't think we ever had single digits, maybe once all year. We had a lot of 25s, but I would say 16 to 18 was a normal night for average hooks in the class. So it's all good. Kurt Van Beek, sorry. Kurt, we're not mad. We're just stating the facts, Van Beek.
I was going to say it was all Kurt's fault. So
yeah.
Well,
I want to know where you're watching from tonight. Before I let Dave and Ron Stone run off with it, I want let them start talking. I want to know where you're watching from tonight. So type that in the comments. Maybe the temperature where you are. Kind of curious to see. Ron's heading to Texas, probably on his way right now. It's going to be in the 70s, 80s down there. I'm flying out to California. It's supposed to be in the 80s and 90s out there. And yeah, so take over, guys.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting a message from Josh saying he's not going to be able to come on, so hopefully we'll get Ronnie on here. But yeah, tonight, Dave Novak, winner, points champion.
Ron. See, Dave, you scared him. He had a stroke already, Novak.
I can't hear him either, so I don't know what happened.
He froze. It's sometimes the internet, so.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're back. So.
Are you back?
I think. Ronald?
I'll be darned.
Well, if this happens, at least you're one of the guys I actually know, so that won't be. I can talk to you all night long. So I'm not worried about that.
Me out.
Hey, is that me or is that you, Jason?
That's all you, stud. It's all you.
Yeah.
Because Dave's very clear. Dave's fine. I'm clear. I'm fine. Your screen's kind of fuzzy, Ron, so it possibly happening here. So.
Yeah, I'm in No, we haven't left yet. We're leaving in the morning in Oak Grove, Missouri right now. Just had some new tires put on the truck, but hopefully my service that I pay out the nose for will give us 5G service like it's advertised. But yes, chilly here. What's the temperature up in your neck of the woods, Dave?
Well, last night it got down to about 17, and all day it was in the high 40s. It's supposed to get cold tonight again, but the weekend's supposed to get up in the 70s. So we had a little nap, but it'll warm up. At least they've got rid of the bugs, got rid of the flies and mosquitoes, and so that was kind of nice.
You know, when we went out to Colorado at that point, you notice there were no bugs, no mosquitoes, no flies out there at all out there in Windsor. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
I brought a few flies with me in the truck that were still flying around, but yeah, there was nothing out there.
Probably come from Wisner. There's a lot of flies there, maybe.
So what did we figure it up to be? Was there actually 29 hooks for you guys?
Yeah, we got rained out in Concord and Shackelford's Pole.
Yeah, well,
Warrensburg, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We had 29 on the schedule. 29 scheduled.
Okay. So we're trying to bring that down a little bit, Dave, make it a little more feasible. That's, I think, for the most part, everybody thought that was probably a few too many hooks and what they wanted to make. I mean, are you in that department there?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Sometimes a lot of hooks ain't bad if you're located in the right area, but sometimes if you have to drive a long ways, 12 hooks is a lot.
Right.
But I know it's very hard to book shows and try to get a Friday, Saturday night show, so we're hooking twice. It's just hard to get all the logistics and stuff done, but I know they do the best they can.
Yeah, no, we're not whining, Ron. We're not whining. We're just stating the facts. You're getting all sensitive on us. So.
We're going to try to pump the brakes a little bit.
A lot of
try to make it a little more feasible.
The towns want us, and the fans, spectators like to see the 4-1 class. So I know they're all begging to see us, and that's a good thing.
So then 35, 36 is a good number then, or
20, 19. Well, there's a couple I don't want to go back to, but that's my opinion.
So tell us a little bit about the name. Jason has this thing going on Facebook right now. How did your tractor get its name? Inquiring minds want to know. How did the Mean Farmer come to be the Mean Farmer?
I started pulling 25, 30 years ago, and a buddy had a garden tractor. They call them garden tractors, but they're like motorcycle engines in them and little 4-cylinder car engines and whatnot, single-cylinder motors. And he got me started in that a long time ago. So I built one and I put a motorcycle engine in it. So I had a little tractor and didn't know what to call it. And at that time, Z92, the radio station out of Omaha, had a morning show. And on there, they had a deal called the Mean Farmer skid or whatever. And this guy, he talked about drive-by combinings and just odd, goofy shit that happens on the farm. And somebody said, Dave, you should call yourself the Mean Farmer because that's kind of the way you act. So it come about by a radio station morning show.
Okay.
My buddy said you should call it the Mean Farmer because that's the way you are. And
Go ahead, Dave.
I have the original Mean Farmer sitting here in the shop up on the shelf on display.
Oh, that's the garden tractor you're talking about?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. So did you move on? Did you move straight from garden tractors to 4-1s, or was there
I went from that garden tractor all the way up to the 4-1 class. So it was a big jump.
Big jump. Okay. Now you were pretty doggone dominant this year when you hooked to the sled. I mean, you were the guy to beat. I mean, what's your secret?
Well, last year I sat out all year. I was waiting for a crankshaft. I broke the crankshaft the year prior, and I was waiting for a crankshaft all year last year. So I do all my motor work with Joe Bush out in Boone, Iowa, and I talked to Joe, and I'm like, when we get this thing together, that thing better run. So pretty much build a new motor, put a new transmission in it, new rear end, a lot of new stuff, new tires. And I come out thinking, boy, I hope this thing runs. And I went to Ravenna the first night, and I never moved the sled. And I thought, oh boy. And then after that, it started running good, and it just kept going.
Yeah, you had a heck of a year. You were definitely the guy to beat. So Joe Bush does all your motor work?
Yes, he does. Joe Bush Ag Repair out there in Boone, Iowa. And there was night.
Did you call him that Friday night from Ravenna?
Yes, I did. I said I only went 2 feet, and it was not good. But I borrowed an injection pump from the Platties, Turbo Up guys.
Yep.
Got an injection pump from them because they broke something, so they couldn't run. So they gave me their injection pump for Saturday night. We bolted it on my tractor, and by God, I took first place. And I'm like, well, damn it, now I'm back in the points run. So there we went at it.
Yep.
I lost Ron again.
He froze for a little bit there, Dave. So he'll come back here in a second. So get the fuel pump from Platties then, and then obviously we had 2 weeks off, didn't we, between Ravenna and the next one?
Yeah.
Then I think.
Yep, and I went down to Hearts. I get all my stuff from Hearts too, and they worked with me very well. They got it fixed, and we got that going. And I think that was one of my major breakdowns. And then late in the season,
what happened at West Point that night?
At West Point, I was winding up at the starting line, and the camshaft broke the cam.
Okay.
So I got out of time and busted all the bent valves and push rods and blah blah blah. That was on a Friday night. The Iowa State Fair was on Wednesday or Thursday, and then Wisner was coming up, the big one up in Wisner, Nebraska. And so we had it out at Joe Bush's Saturday night. We had it tore down, and by Tuesday night, we had that thing running pretty darn good again.
Yeah, I like it. You came out strong with that. Because I had the lead at West Point trying to get my first one of the year, and then when you broke, I'm like, hey, I got a chance. And then old freaking Sidley comes up with the old, or George Byer with the side piece. I called him Sidley from Sibley. I'm all messed up. And he got me by 6 feet there at the bitter end. So that was fun. Hey, I always wanted to ask you, are you pretty involved with the Wisner poll? That's kind of your hometown poll, right?
Yeah, I'm actually the president of that show.
Okay.
3 years now. And yes, my wife's the secretary, and we're pretty involved in that show. Yes.
Well, thank you. Cause that was a blast. That was, somebody asked me the other day, well, it's my favorite poll of the year. And everybody's always talked about Wisner. And I finally got there, and it lived up to expectations. I blew my tractor up. I'm not happy about that, Dave, but I'm not going to blame you for that. That's just, that stuff just kind of happens. So
last year I never had a tractor last year. So I did a lot of work up at Wisner, for that show. And I was helping everywhere. And I told the board and everybody, I'm like, this year's going to be a little different. When I roll into Wisner, it's not about the Wisner tractor poll. It's about Dave Novak trying to win. So I went to bed early Friday night because I didn't do so well Friday. So I had to get my shit together for Saturday.
Ron, are you back, buddy?
I don't know what's going on.
You're back now. Well, that's okay. I know how to talk to Dave. I'm not afraid. So, you're the host.
I was worried, Jason. I know you had a long weekend and did some traveling and such.
I am not drinking. Again, I'm not having an adult beverage until I get to my goal weight of 220. That was the weirdest Saturday night of my adult life, was sitting in that bar and drinking water till 2 a.m. But I got a lot of people home safely, and I felt way better Sunday morning than I normally do.
Jason, one of the weirdest nights of my life was witnessing you dancing at the Iowa State Fair. That's all I'm going to say is. Well,
that was alcohol induced in my dancing, and we had a good time with that. Who's the guy with the super farm that won points?
Andrews.
He was giving me crap about keeping my music up too loud there at the Iowa State Fair.
I had a little bit of guilt in that. Yeah, I'll take some responsibility in that loud music. But
fair enough.
But yeah, the Thunder by the River. I saw somebody on Facebook actually made a comment somebody said, "Where's this picture taken?" And somebody put Thunder by the liver, and I thought, man, that's about as true as it comes. Have you seen that before, Dave?
No, I did not. No.
I posted. I made the Outlaw picture, Ron. That picture in the trees, because everybody talks about the trees. And Chandler, when we were doing videos, if you notice some of our super stock videos that we've posted so far, I said you get in those trees and you get those tractors coming out. Because even my dad over the years would tell me about Wisner, and I'm like, whatever, it's a stupid tractor pull, right? And when I got there, I was like, I'll be damned, because I had to go to Hearts after the Iowa State Fair, and I didn't get to Wisner until like that day, like 3 hours before the bull started. And I got parked out in the back 50, way out there by the grain bins, but it was fine. I mean, what an event. What an event. Just so neat. So neat. And then I met the nice gentleman in town, the chief of police, when I drove my UTV down the main drag, and he asked me not to do that anymore. And it all went well. It all went well. No complaints. No complaints. So
well, there's a lot of, we got a lot of good board members and a lot of volunteer help. I mean, you couldn't do it without volunteer help, and it takes a lot to put on a poll. And I tell my friends, I said, everybody needs to be a promoter as well as a puller, and you'll respect both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you promoted a poll, you don't know.
Exactly.
And
next year, 2023, the dates will be August 18th and 19th.
Okay.
If anybody wants to know already.
Yeah, the preparation that goes into having a pull is, especially a big pull like Thunder by the River. I mean, I'm sure you guys are already on top of it now. Procuring sponsors.
Yes.
Lined up.
Well, you got to start the day after the show's over and find out what you did wrong, and it starts the day after the show, and it don't end till the show starts again.
There's a lot of. Oh, Novak, there's a lot of jogging references on here. I have been looking for that video all freaking day since Ron texted me and reminded me. Have you on that jogging trail in Windsor, Colorado? I'm trying to find it.
I couldn't remember who posted that, but
somebody had it on their Snapchat, and Loretta. And it's Loretta that made the comment. See, Dave has his jogging bibs on.
Yeah.
Will, jump on the show. I sent you a link. I want to get a celebrity. Will Mann's on here. Let's do it. 2 years in a row. My favorite poll, and I've never been to. Jersetter. So, yeah.
That's funny. I'm at Will Mann's house right now in the toter. And he wouldn't come out and help me hook it back up to the trailer. So I come in to do the show, and he's in the house over here where it's warm.
I sent him the link, so he should be able to come on. So, I drove by Prairie Village, Ellen Unzelman. I don't know how to say your name correctly, but I drove by Prairie Village on the way home from Mark Ulmer's on Saturday. So that was
they had a
Sunday.
Big crowd at Prairie Village. Big crowd there.
Yep. Dave, what year did you start on the little mini rod then?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that, but I'm going to say it had to be 25 years ago. Okay. I don't know actually what year we started them, but it was a long time ago.
Can you kind of take us through the timeline leading into the big tractors and some of the classes you pulled with?
I probably only weighed about 185 back then. So how far ago was that?
Ask your wife.
Yeah.
So she'll know.
He had one and my kids had one. We had, at one time, there was 4 of them little garden tractors in our family.
Okay.
But we started doing that, I'm going to say 25 years ago. I had one with my buddies. You just put them on the back of a car trailer and away you went. And then in the particular class I was in, a super modified class, Craig Yonke was in that class. I have never known him before. I met him pulling them garden tractors, and now he's one of my best friends.
Yeah, Tanya's on the show. She's saying it's over 25 years ago, Dave. So.
Yeah, probably 1989, my wife said, is when we started pulling the garden tractors. 1989.
Yeah. Do you got any pictures of it in the house that you could kind of hold up to the camera of it?
Oh, possibly.
If she can dig something up, that'd be kind of neat to see.
Bunch of trophies and blah, blah, blah from them, but I'll find one, or my wife will go find me something.
So in 89, then you were zooming around with those. I don't know the whole family. I know Seth, obviously. How many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids. I got an oldest. The oldest is a boy, Brian. He's down in Omaha. He has no interest in farming, so he's down in Omaha working. And then I got a daughter, Sarah. She lives up by Pilger, Nebraska, and she has 3 little kids. A little girl that's 4, and a set of twins that's 2. And then Seth is our littlest one.
Yep, I knew. Yep, we all knew Seth. So that's good.
And then we had these garden tractors, and Seth started growing up pulling. And that little turd, he started pulling when he was only 2 years old, and he had diapers on. And he pulled the little stock tractor, and then we gradually moved him up to the bigger one. And then one day I ended up buying my tractor. The frame of the Mean Farmer originally was the geared green tractor from
Bryce.
Yes. And I bought the rolling chassis, and then I built the motor, or Joe Bush did. And when he found out I bought that tractor, Seth cried and cried that I'd never take him garden tractor pulling again, and cried. And so Craig Yonke said, yeah, Seth, your dad can put the big one, and I'll take you with the little ones. And now I asked Seth the other night, he has a tractor of his own, and I said, Seth, we should sell him and go back to garden tractor pulling. And he's like, I'm just fine where I'm at.
I bet he is. So what year did you buy Bryce's tractor before when he went pro stock then?
No, it was a pro stock when I bought it.
Okay. So what year do you think, Dave, that was?
About 15 years ago.
So 2007.
He was pulling quite a bit with the Outlaws back then, and I went into Wisner one night and talked to the Schlutters about tractors. I wanted to build one, buy one, do something, and they said, well, that guy right beside us here, he wants to sell his. And I'm like, oh, I can't afford that. That's kind of fancy. And a couple hours later, I bought it.
That's a good story. Now, so you must have started Super Farm then, Dave?
Nope. The year I bought Bryce's tractor, everybody wanted to know what class I was going in. And I kind of did not want to go on the Super Farm. And it was a little bit too heavy to go in light supers. And that was the year the Outlaws started the 4-1 class.
2007?
It must have been.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. So that would have been would that have been like the box charger with from okay.
So it was me. Shackelford's had 1 or 2, and then Schluter's had 1. That might have been it. That first year there was only like 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah, because we had Taylor on our Let's Grow Pulling show last night, and he was walking us through, from Super Farm into 4-1. And I just assumed you started in Super Farm and worked your way up. But no, that's cool.
I started the 4-1 class, or started right when that class started, and that's how it all come about. And
how many points championships do you have over the years, Dave?
I think 5 with Outlaws.
Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
I asked him to go find a picture of the little mini rod and hold it up to the screen.
Okay.
One, I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yep. Bring it a little closer. Now up a little bit.
Can you see
That's
that?
Dave Novak. Is that Seth or is that you?
That's me. That one has that little one had a 1000 Kawasaki with a turbo on it.
Oh.
It was actually a drag racing motorcycle engine that I bought, and we put it in that pulling tractor.
Awesome.
And it ran pretty hard.
I bet.
Is that group still around, Dave, that you pulled with them?
What's that?
Is that group still around? Like, were they Nebraska garden tractor pullers, or what were they?
No, it actually kind of folded up here about 5 years ago, and there's still some in Nebraska, but they run up in northwestern Iowa. Here's one. Here's a picture. I don't know if you can see that little stock tractor.
Yeah.
That is Seth on it when he was about 4 or 5.
Was it the Bounty Hunter back then too?
No, that one was called the Little Mean Farmer.
The Little Mean Farmer. I like it.
And then here's a picture. Can you see that one?
Yeah.
That was my wife's tractor.
Mama, Teresa.
Yeah, and that was just, what did we call it? A 4455?
Yeah.
That had a Honda 1000 CBR racing engine in it.
So they were.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Okay. Tyler Spatansky says, we remember when you came to Bolus with them.
Oh, yeah. We went all over with them. And And then one year, my wife, she ran hers, and I think Craig Yonke had his, and we joined the NTPA and ran the national circuit with them.
Okay.
And then we run into like Ross Hare. He runs, I think, with he has a big mini rod now with the guys out of Paynton, Iowa, with the sleds. I can't think of
Bowers.
I think he's over Bowers yet with the mini rods, and Ross Hare, and he had the mini Mission Impossible, and there's just quite a few guys we run up in Wisconsin with, and we still talk to them once in a while.
Yep, that's awesome. If you're just joining us, Dave Novak joining Ron and I tonight for Outlawed Live. Dave is your 2022 Outlaw Limited Pro Stocks points champion, and what we like to do on Outlawed Live is just talk about life, talk about our family, talk about our pulling history, and Dave's kind of walking us through the chronological timeline, if you will. I'm learning a lot tonight. I didn't know that the 401 class was even existed in 2007 in the Outlaws, so that's good knowledge there as well. If you have any questions, please type them into the comments, or any comments in there. Any good Dave Novak stories or questions for Dave, we'll be sure to ask him. He's not shy, so bring it on. So
I think in 2007, if that's the year it started, 7, 8, I'm going to say if we had 1,500 horse, that was pretty good. Because I remember in probably 8 or 9 sitting at Joe Bush's shop on the dyno, and at one time we hit 1,800 horse, and that was something. I mean, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
And now we're pushing a lot more than that.
Yep.
1,000 more horse.
Yep, big numbers.
Yep.
Used to kind of bolus. That everybody's talking about bolus. Well, Nelson's and Spatanskis must live close to there.
That's out by Ravenna or out western Nebraska.
Gotcha.
They used to have the garden tractors were there the same day as the big tractors, so it was kind of a whole big show.
Yep.
Dave, how much horsepower are you making now?
Well, if I told you, I'd have to probably kill you.
I have to ask, Dave.
One of my competitors are on this TV show listening.
They're all the whole 401 class is going ooh right now. Novak.
I don't know. I got around 2,700, 2,800 maybe.
Yeah, well, you're being honest, Dave. Normally, we don't get an answer to that question. Usually, it's just simply stated as not enough.
Well, that's true. I always tell that to Joe Bush. We get off the dyno, I'm like, shit, that ain't near enough.
Now, you've won the points in this particular class, the limited pro stock class, 5 times.
Yes.
2007. I mean, that's quite the accomplishment right there. I mean, it's a very popular class. A lot of serious iron in there. Jason can attest to that, of course. He pulls in the class, but I mean, that's a big class. It's surprising that somebody can win that many championships with one organization in that particular class. But
we were filling out paperwork for Louisville a week ago or so, and so I put down that, they want to know your history. So I put down I was a 5-time Outlaw points champion, and I was like 6 times second place. And there was like 14 times or 15 times out of 18 years, or however many years I owned that tractor, that I was in the top 5.
That's an accomplishment. I mean,
well, you're a hell of a driver. You got a good piece, and you're a good driver, Dave. You got that little short fellow that's kind of mean. Only has the one eye. He's always with you all the time. He's always reading the track. He's always flipping me off. I don't know what he has a problem with me, Dave, but I'm trying to figure him out. So
yeah, I don't know. But I had real good luck with the Mean Farmer tractor. I always did. It ran good, but I mean we work hard at it. I'm sure everybody works hard at what they do, but we just got lucky. I mean, to win a points champion, you got to break on the right night. You got to get the right hook draw, and when you do break, you better have parts or somebody that knows how to fix it. And Joe Bush been helping me a lot, so I can't enough about Joe Bush and the mechanics out there.
Oh, they're good. They're good. Tim Goslin says, did you ever race in Scribner? Did you ever pull in Scribner?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of places I pulled. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was running for the hell of it. I thought I'm going to run a little bit NTPA or whatever, PPL maybe. There was a night, my wife and I, on a Thursday night, we pulled up by Chicago at a PPL show. And then on Friday night, we pulled at Outlawed, Texas.
Wow. Oh, the 4-1s have been to Outlawed before?
Yes, like one of the first years. And then we got down there, and my wife says, we're never doing this again. And I'm like, you were – I was driving. But I don't know what possessed me to run up in Chicago one night and then go down to Texas the very next night.
Where were you at up by Chicago for a PPL hook?
It was west of Chicago, about not hard, 20 miles.
Man, what would that be?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I'm trying to think because I should know that one. So it'll pop up in my head here in a little bit. Kurt,
yeah, that shouldn't be too far from you.
Yeah, Kurt says Dave is a heck of a competitor. Mark Ham says couple Nebraska Bush championships too, I believe. I would assume so, Novak?
Yes, I had a few champions over there also, yes.
Awesome.
And I believe Seth had 2 or 3 himself with his tractor, the Bounty Hunter. He had, I think, 3 championships over there. One year he was chasing the points real hard in Outlaw, and he won the Thunderbolt Trophy at Wisner. He won the trophy in Ravenna, and he won the one in Rock Valley. He won all the big shows, but the rear end broke down one night. He missed about 2 or 3 hooks, and it bumped him out of the championship.
Okay.
So Seth come really close to winning one year too with his tractor.
How many times have you been to Louisville, Dave, over the years?
I with my tractor?
Yeah.
I just been there one time with my tractor, and Seth's been there twice with his.
Okay.
So
Seth went as a 4-1, or did he go as a super farm?
He went as a 4-1. That tractor been ever since we bought it. It's been a 4-1.
Okay, what's the story on that one then? Where did the Bounty Hunter come from?
Well, years ago, I had a bunch of parts laying here, and I still got enough parts probably to build another one. But I had a whole pile of parts, and I told Seth, we should buy somebody's old frame and put all these parts into a tractor, get it running, and get it sold. Maybe peddle some parts that way. Well, there was a diesel super stock called the Little Green Toy. Nepper owned it.
Yeah. Dave Nepper, right?
He was in Dunlap, Missouri, and one night he blew the hood off of it, blew the block out of it, and just horribly blew it up bad. Well, then that winter, he called me and said, Dave, I hear you're looking for a tractor to buy. Not really. So Seth said, yeah, Dad, let's go look at it. So in the middle of winter, we drove over there, and we looked at it, a whole pile of parts on the ground and a couple protein tubs full of parts. And he said what he wanted. I said, I'm not buying it. I'm like, Seth wants to buy one, so he ain't got much money. And he asked Seth, how much money do you have? And Seth told him a number, and we talked another hour or so. And then before we left, he goes, when are you guys coming back to pick it up? I'm like, well, shit. I guess we went back about a month later to pick it up, and we brought it home on a trailer, and my wife seen it, and she's like, what the hell?
No, wait, she didn't know before you left to go get it, Dave? Or
well, she knew, but she didn't know what it was like.
I like to surprise my wife too. I like to surprise my wife too. It always works out well for me.
Then we put it in the shop, and Seth and I worked on it for that whole winter and put it all together ourselves, and did a lot of work. And he's pretty proud of that tractor, and so am I.
Should be. It's a good runner.
And it runs very well. And I always say he gets Dad's used parts, but Dad's used parts are pretty good.
Yeah, they're not junk.
No, I mean they're billet. He's got billet crank, and he got a lot of good parts in there. But when he needs pistons, they are Dad's used pistons. So
they're broken in.
They're seasoned.
Do you think you were in Freeport, Illinois? Does that ring a bell?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. That's about an hour south of me. So hour and a half.
That could have. How far is that from Chicago? You think that's the one?
It's probably 45 minutes, hour west. But yeah, I know now. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. So
yeah, I know I pulled there, so that could have been it.
Yeah, they always ran our Silver Series class. Our class there was Silver Series or Badger State, but probably Silver Series if you went there for PPL. So
we say 29 hooks this year was a lot for the 4-1 class, but I'm going to say 10, 15 years ago or 10 years ago when I was running hard, I bet I put 40, 45 passes a year on that tractor.
Yeah, Tanya Yankee said that way over 20 or way over 29. Again, I'm not picking on it. It was a long summer. I haven't went that hard in years. So it was
even this year I pulled, I bet 8 times with Nebraska Bush. So, I mean, I'm probably pushing 40 hooks this year with that Mean Farmer tractor.
Nice. Wharton Maribel says Dave even sometimes would beat himself while driving tapped out. You drove a red one, Novak?
Yeah. Yeah, years ago, the tapped out tractor was a 4-1 tractor, and they couldn't make it to Nebraska. So I hauled it up here, and I drove it myself, and I actually won the class that night. And I got done. My wife's like, way to go, dumbass. You just knocked yourself out of the points race. And I think I won by a half a point, but I might have went out of bounds one time, and Tony will probably be bitching at this, and I never was called, and I beat him by a half a point.
Well, Maribeth can tell Tony, and then we can, if we need to bring Tony on to have it out, Dave, we can do that.
But yes, I drove his, and I drove it. I mean, when I got on it, I drove it like it was mine, and treated it like it was mine, and we won.
Yep, that's what you're supposed to do.
A couple times.
Doug Meisinger says that was Doug Nepper's tractor that you brought. So.
Yes, yep, Doug Nepper's.
I think I said Dave, so Meisinger. Oh. So. All these Daves and Dougs and Roan Stones, I'm just getting confused. Roan Stones.
There's only one Roan Stone.
There's only one Roan Stone. He's with us tonight.
And I think in the past, I know Craig Yonke drove the Mean Farmer once or twice. Joe Shackelford drove it for me one night at a tractor pull down in Missouri. I couldn't go, so he drove it for me. I don't know who else. There's several guys that drove it.
I got a couple fun questions for you, Dave. Over the years, who's kind of your biggest rival, but like not off the track, but like on the track, you just always knew that you had to have a perfect pass if you were going to beat that guy or that gal that night? Who's just consistently over the years, who's been a little pain in your butt?
Well, over the years, the last few years, this year he didn't pull with us much, but that little Joe Moriando, that tractor runs pretty good, and he used to be kind of a pain,
Yep.
Every night I'm like, God damn it, Joe had a good pass. So I would say Joe Moriando is that tractor he has.
I know they're going back together right now. I talked to, is it Steve Deckinger that kind of hangs out with them?
Yep, he's one of their main groupies, yes.
Yep, that's one of the main groupies. They got roadies. And he said they were going back together. So he was showing me some pictures. So Seth is commenting. He says he wins with the tapped out, but every time he drove mine, he broke it.
Yeah. Yeah, I tore the rear end out of Seth. I broke his more times than he broke it. But.
Dad, you can't drive my tractor no more. That's what's coming.
Yeah. So the 4-1 class, Dave, I mean, is that where you have aspirations to move up to pro stock, or are you happy where you're at here in the limited pro?
I'm happy right now where I'm at. If they ever change the rules, a year ago they were mentioning component chassis and blah, blah, blah. If they would have did that, I would have jumped to pro stock. I think if they leave the rules the way they are now, I will never leave this class.
I'm with you. Here, your grandkids are watching. I made you bigger so they could see you on TV. So.
Yeah, they're starting to get into it too. They watch it on TV too now, YouTube or TV. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to retire and let the kids drive it.
This is funny.
Can you see the comment there, Dave?
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see it.
Yeah. Hey, Grandpa, we have this up on the TV, and Grace, Luke, and Levi think Grandpa's pretty cool right now. So say hi to your grandkids, Novak.
Hi there, boys. Yeah, they.
Which one was driving last year on the track?
That was my sister's kids.
Okay.
They come with me quite a bit too. So it'd been my little nephew. He was driving, that little pedal tractor in Wisner.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that was even coming there or that even happened until they were yelling to look and had that little mean farmer tractor on the track.
Yeah, we announced it as if he was really pulling the sled down the track there, I think, if I remember right last year. That was kind of cool. They surprised you with that.
Man, Novak, people really like you. There's a lot of people watching tonight. This is really shocking to me that people like you. I don't like you at all. All you do is beat on me all summer long. So
they're all surprised I didn't have a heart attack out in Colorado.
When you went jogging.
Video, by the way. Did we get that video, Jason?
Nobody sent it to me yet. I've been checking. Hey, Seth and Sarah are watching. Give me some good dad stories over the years, some crazy shit your dad's done. let me type that into the comments. So that'd be fun like that. So
some of my buddies rode with me in the truck. They could tell you stories in the trucks, stopping at these places in Missouri on the side of the road. There's a lot of stories, but I can't tell them.
That's fine. Yeah. That's kind of what happened with Ulmer and Esden the other night. They'd get going like, we better not tell that one.
So. This year I don't know what I broke, injection pump or injectors, whatever. So I was out at Joe Bush's and I needed to run down to Hart's for some parts. And Joe said, well, grab my pickup and take off. So we drove down to Missouri that night and stayed in a motel. Well, there happened to be this, I don't know what it was called, shitty club on the side of the road there. Out the Hart's shop there. Stripped. So I parked Joe Bush's pickup right in front of the sign and took a picture of it, sent him, and I said, thanks for the VIP pass.
That train horn, it was almost like it was bleeping you out there for a minute, Dave. That was kind of appropriate there, wasn't it? You notice that, Jason?
Yeah. My office in Janesville, Wisconsin is right next to a train track. So,
Joe, David, every time something new comes up with you, every time you go someplace, you're always doing something. I'm like, yep, just like
okay. Here comes the story. So George Byer says Dave buying tomatoes. What does that mean, Dave?
Oh, George was following us out of Missouri one day. I was in the lead, and George was behind me going down the road, and I don't know where we're headed, but we're in a hurry to go someplace. Well, pretty soon I turned off, and George is calling somebody. Goes, where in the hell are you going? And the buddy that was riding with me, he says, well, there was some farmer's market on the side of the road, and Dave wanted to stop and buy some fresh tomatoes. And he's like, are you shitting me?
I love it.
Little gas station, I bought about half a dozen tomatoes, and I told George, I'll catch you. And it wasn't a half hour, and pretty soon I was blowing his doors off.
Maribeth Workman says he's a hell of a t-shirt salesman. There's got to be a story to that, Novak. So.
You never heard that?
I have not.
I probably gave away 200 t-shirts. My wife could probably tell you how many. But there's always a 2-for-1 discount at my trailer after the show is over. For the girls, you show me both them titties, and I give you one free t-shirt.
There you go. That's why Maribeth would comment. So I
get a lot of them, but yeah, some of them they should have probably bought it.
Yeah, you can't. It's if you're going to get free t-shirts away, you can't judge, Dave. So
then I tell the girls now when they went, no, I'll just pay for it. I'm like, they're all going to know what you did. It don't matter if you pay or not.
You've created a monster there.
Yeah.
Seth Novak, your son, says, one time in Warrensburg, I found out my old man smoked.
Yeah. Here's the story. So we had to split the mean farmer. The clutch was shot, so I bought some wide, real thick plates to put in there and this and that. We worked on it till about midnight, got it all back together, new clutch in there. We're supposed to be leaving for Warrensburg first thing in the morning. I said, we'll load it in the morning and take off. Well, I got up in the morning, we went to load the tractor, and it would not drive itself in that trailer. The clutch, the pads are too thick, and it wouldn't engage, and I could not get it even loaded. And Seth's like, well, Dad, your points race is done. I'm like, the hell it is. So we backed it up in the shop, and then about 3 hours later, we had that tractor split and a different clutch put in it, put it back together, and rolled it back in the trailer, and we took off for Warrensburg. And I was in one truck, and I believe Davidsons were ahead of us, going down there with us with the high velocity tractor. And we got to Kansas City, and they said it got rained out. Warrensburg's rained out. I'm like, well, good. I'm tired. We'll just turn around and go home. And the boys were like, no, we're in Kansas City. Let's just keep going. So we got down there, and somehow these college kids were playing beer pong. And they were bragging how much beer they can drink and blah, blah, blah. And Trish Ritter was down there, and Trish was like, Dave, them kids don't know how to drink beer. Let's show them how to do it. So we showed them. I think we won the game, but I think we lost the fight.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't know I smoked. I didn't know I did a lot of things.
I know that feeling, Dave. I know that feeling. I like that.
It don't pay to have a young kid that's pretty good with his phone videoing it all.
No, that's the phones have changed all of that, Dave. It's changed all of that.
So, go ahead, Jason.
Nope, you go, bud.
I was just going to ask Dave, his favorite place to pull. I mean, now I'm sure Wisner would probably be at the top of the list, but other than Thunder by the River, your favorite location to show up every year.
I don't know. We pulled out at Bolus. For some reason, there's grain bins in the back. I got a beautiful picture of my tractor pulling in front of these grain bins. I like that one. There's several of them. I mean, some we don't go to anymore. Warrensburg was always a good time just because the competition. I pulled against Van Beek, and the one night, and he said he pulled it like 332 foot, took the lead. He's like, oh, shit, there ain't no way anybody's going to beat that. And 4 tractors later, I come by there and pulled it out there about 350. And, Warrensburg was always a good time. There's several of them. I really don't have one that really stands out.
You're just happy to be there, Novak.
I guess. And Mark Ulmer one night, when I was winning a lot, I was always winning and having fun. He's like, remember these, Dave, because it'll stop one day. And boy, he wasn't shitting. When you start losing, you don't know what to do. It is a good thing to run good and load it back on the trailer so you can go pulling the next night.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of good competition in that class.
A lot of good competition, and there's a lot of, like West Point that night I broke. I bet there's 30 fellow pullers trying to help me fix it. I mean, Platties were in there helping. The repair shop out of West Point, I can't think of his name. Meisters were helping it, or everybody was trying to help me fix it. Some of my pullers, and you probably seen it, Jason, they were kind of dragging their feet back there. They were using up their 3 minutes, everybody, so I have more time to.
And I was down there saying, start the clock, start the clock, start the clock.
It's just amazing a guy has that many friends, and I'm thankful of that.
You should be.
So
yeah, that's tractor pulling in a nutshell. I mean, that's awesome. And you hear those stories just one after the other of pullers helping pullers, competitors helping competitors, helping them out so they can get out there and pull. Nobody wants to win by default or by disqualification or on inability to get down the track. But that's pulling in a nutshell right there. It's a family. It's a big family for sure.
Even this year, I don't know where we were coming from, but we were headed south, and I stopped at Hart's one night about 3 a.m. I pulled in the yard, and my wife jumps out of the trailer, and she's like, "Your trailer's on fire." Well, the bearings went out on one axle, and it wasn't on fire, but it was smoking so bad you could hardly see the trailer. So we had to do a lot of work there, and then we limped it over to Tony Wortman's shop, and he fixed it for me. But then he hauled me around the rest of the weekend, or for about a week and a half, because we were staying in Missouri. So he helped me quite a bit. That was another accident this year.
Jeffrey Bax says, from Chubbs, what about the time I brought Tapped Up for Tony and we went to West Point?
Yeah, there's a story I can't tell what happened, but
okay, well that's fair. Just throw it out there.
No, it wasn't me or Chubbs, but it was about 3 a.m. when we were leaving.
That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say, Dave. We're good. Seth, we do not want to go to jail. We're trying to promote pulling and tell good stories, not go to jail. So,
that pull I had out in Bolus, you guys asked.
Yeah.
My wife brought me a picture. I don't know if you guys can see this one.
There it is.
With that grain bed in the back and the smoke. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pictures right there.
Manila, if you catch that right, Manila's kind of got that same setup too, Dave, but that's awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. That's Bolus, Nebraska?
What's that?
That's Bolus, Nebraska?
Yes.
Okay.
And tractor pulling to me is like a farm sport, and the grain bed in the back, it just highlights everything right there.
Yep. Seth says Bean Farmer used to pull 7,500-pound heavy light superclass back in the day with the Nebraska bush pullers. So
yeah, they'd let me pull light super or whatever they called that class, 7,500 pounds. So I only had like 3 front end weights on the front, and I had to lower the hitch a little bit. And Jesus, that thing ran good back then. I don't think they liked it when I come over there.
Heavy light super. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's your most memorable experience from pulling, being on the road, whatever, Dave? I mean, it could be your biggest win, biggest accomplishment. What's something that sticks out in your mind?
Well, the first year I won the points championship, I was pretty proud of that. Going to Louisville, I don't know what year it was. Seth and I both made it. Both tractors went to Louisville. That was a huge, I'll never forget that. That's unheard of. 2 tractors out of the same family goes to Louisville.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I went to Gordyville years ago, and I piled it in the sand, and then I got caught in a pull-off, and I ended up 2nd or 3rd place in Gordyville. That I remember piling it in the sand. That was pretty good. Going to Louisville and Gordyville, them were winning the Thunderbolt Trophy at Wisner the first time. That was unbelievable. Winning the Thunderbolt Trophy means a lot to me.
Yeah, it means a lot to anybody that wins that. That one and the Rock at Rock Valley. That's quite an accomplishment.
I think between me and Seth, we have 5 Thunderbolt trophies and 3 Rock trophies.
Very nice. What was Doug Meisinger just saying? Lyle Nelson.
He was saying home of. Hold on.
Oh, gotcha.
Home of Lyle Nelson.
Yes, Bolus.
Yeah, and then Jeffrey Back says Central Dairy Ice Cream. He must be still trying to spur you on for something.
Oh, whenever we pulled down at Jeff City, Missouri, they got Central Dairy down there. And everybody always teases me and Craig Yonke. Whatever town we're in, we always seem to find a ice cream shop. We used to go to that Central Dairy down there. That was a pretty good deal. And now I own my own soft serve ice cream machine because I had a little concession stand at Wisner, so I own my own soft serve ice cream machine like I need that.
So what's the plan for 2023, Dave? Any changes? Anything monumental coming that's different for the team, for the tractor? Or
no.
More of the same?
Joe Bush asked me, Dave, what do you want to do for Wisner? I'm like, we ain't doing a darn thing. I'm going to probably sharpen the tires and put fresh fuel in it and go. I'm not putting it on the dyno. I'm not doing nothing. It's running good. That's the way it's staying. And it's probably going to roll into next year the same way.
Okay.
I would, if we do anything, we'll probably do some work to Seth's tractor. Get him some more power and maybe a better transmission and stuff in that one.
Seth, there's your Christmas present, kiddo.
Yeah, all he has to do is talk to his mother. She's the one that, what do we got to do? And I'm like, well, you need some more money. And
Johnny Anstein says, tell Dave he can have this cold weather back. This Missouri weather is bipolar, kind of like Keith Hammond's.
Yeah.
So there you go. Are those Versatiles in his cover photo? Big 4-wheel drives? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Looks like Versatile tractors, doesn't it, Ron? And his cover photo?
I don't see what you see there.
Oh, okay. Well, it shows his Facebook profile, and I looked like he had some Versatile tractors in his Facebook profile.
I see you must have a picture up of my family there on the screen.
Yeah, I found that on Seth's Facebook page. So
yeah, there you go.
Sarah, your daughter, says we need to dig the stocker out for 2023 and let the kids drive it. Blow the dust out of it. So.
Dad, there probably is a lot of dust on it.
Sarah, you got to talk to your mother. That's been established already how things work in the Novak family. So.
Yeah. I talk big. I say I wear the pants in the family. She just tells me which ones to put on.
There you go.
Well said. Well said.
Well, Dave, do you have any sponsors, anybody that helps you out that you want to thank?
Well, I don't have any sponsors for the tractor. No, I mean Joe Bush works on it a lot. Hearts. I mean, my fuel system comes out of Hearts. They've been pretty good to me. They're just guys, at home that stay home and feed cattle for me. We run a feed yard here. There's a lot of guys stay home so I can go out and do what I do. So I just got to thank some of my help that stays back. Sometimes my wife stays home. I mean, she's a big part of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Usually before he has the trailer cleaned out, washes the floor, cleans it all up, makes sure we have something to eat.
Nice.
She likes it probably just as much or more than you.
That's awesome.
Has she ever driven one of the tractors before, Dave?
She had that little one, and then I don't know, 5-7 years ago, I told her she was going to drive. So she got on it one night, and I was going to show her how to start it. And we were trying to get it started, and a shot plate back off it. And she said she ain't never getting back on it. That her job is to keep the trailer clean and ready to go. So that's what she does.
Where's this at, Dave? That big Case IH pulling you out?
I think that was in Montgomery City, Missouri.
Okay.
We stayed there, and it rained and rained and rained, and probably 5-6 days after the pull was over, I'm like, we better get going to the next one. So Tony or somebody had to call the neighbor who had a big international because they were not going to let a John Deere pull the mean farmer out.
Sounds like the garden tractor season's already done. Sarah's got this lined up. I got Yankees commenting, Kelly Doherty. So, yeah, I think we're good.
They're getting it all worked out here.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable how many friends and people you meet over the years, different states. Just very nice people out there.
Yeah, that's a common theme we hear, Dave. We talked to a lot of the pullers is just how good everybody is and all the great people they've met over the years. So,
yes, I mean I got to thank you guys for these live stream stuff you do. I mean, nowadays, us old guys, we think everything is on newspaper and TV, but it's all on this social media now. Young kids are all on their phones, and you guys do an excellent job of promoting the sport and promoting the Outlaws and everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's my first compliment from Dave Novak, Ron. Right, October 18th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Write it down.
Well, next
Dave Novak was nice to me. Oh.
When we start next season, I'm not going to be your friend no more.
No, yeah. That, like, when you were commenting, like, everybody was helping you get ready and West Point, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. Novak can figure that shit out by himself. Because you kept teasing us all summer long. Oh, I'm getting busy. I'm gonna have to drop out the points race and go move the pivots or feed pigs or wheat or whatever. And I kept saying, when you leaving, Novak? When you leaving?
You guys never believed me. You kept coming.
I know. Well, because because you're a John Deere guy. I know how you guys are. No,
well, Dave,
a lot of respect. Thank you, Dave. So
thank you guys.
Well, Dave, we won't take up any more of your time tonight. We appreciate you coming on. Now, Seth waits.
This is a good
Dave
one.
can drive.
Oh, no, hold on. Seth, your dad just said he's going to upgrade your tractor. I wouldn't be talking a lot of smack right now. So,
Come on, throw it back up there.
Okay, there it is.
What did he say?
He says you can drive all over night and day pulling, but struggles driving all night hauling cattle.
Yeah. Yeah, one night, I'll tell you that story quick. I went to Montana or someplace to pick up cattle, and I told Seth, I'm going to go with you because you're driving too much. And so he was driving, and pretty soon he got tired. And, Dad, you want to drive? I'm like, yeah, I could drive. You go take a nap. I started driving. I went about 10 miles. I'm like, screw this. I'm tired. So I parked on the road. He woke up, and he's like, Dad, how far did you go? I'm like, about 10 miles. Jesus Christ. It's just my driving days. I don't like driving all night like I used to. That's a young man's sport. He just come out of Colorado night before last night hauling cattle. He drove all night. So
yeah, Tommy Yankee saying back in the day you had to call Craig to stay awake.
Yeah, Craig. Like I said, I didn't know him from the moon, and then we got to know each other pulling, and then we become friends. And I mean, he probably knows everything about the Mean Farmer, and I pretty much know everything about his tractor.
Well, they both run well.
Yeah, they
both
do.
run well. So.
He lets his daughter drive now, and she does pretty well. But when Seth was on it or Craig was on it, that tractor was hard to beat. Well, there's a lot of them.
She's had some pretty good runs, and she's had some bad luck. Turbos blowing up and things, and she's going to get a win here before too long. So, Paulson, she's going to get her a win. Of course, you blocked her from her first win back in Ravenna on Saturday night, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
She was poised to get a win there that night. You spoiled it, but
yeah, I know.
She's going to get one too. She's going to get one. But well, Dave, go ahead. You got something else?
I was just say, hopefully everybody shows up at the banquet and we have a good weekend down there. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's a nice
fun.
I was down there last year. That's a nice place and nice setup.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, Dave, thanks for your time. Yeah,
we wish you continued success, and probably not so much from Jason, but
correct
from me.
Correct. I second that emotion.
We wish you continued success. Good luck on your 2023 season, and we'll see you at the banquet.
Yes. Hopefully I make it into Louisville and I can brag up the Outlaws when I win that one.
There you go. I like it.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you guys.
Have a good night.
Roan Stone.
That's me.
That was fun. A lot of people watching tonight. That was fun. A lot of comments. That's good for the shows. I'm so glad we did this, Ron, and stuck with it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, my guys from Lufkin, I think, are too busy, unable to get on here tonight. So
okay.
But we'll be live this weekend in Lufkin at Outlaw Pulling TV Friday at 6, Saturday at 6:30. And even though it's not part of the Outlaw show, Saturday night we will be live streaming the open semis pulling.
I think you have everybody's permission. I think you have everybody's permission to do that, Ron.
A little bit of added coverage there, so it'd be cool. There were some pretty salty semis down there last year, so it'd be interesting to watch.
They're doing an amazing job promoting that event down there in Lufkin. So Jared commented on the show earlier. You guys are all taking off in the morning?
Yeah, going to leave tomorrow. We're going to stop in Ottawa and pick up Jerry and a couple of cases of
the Jerry
juice, I'm sure.
Yep. Well, it's part of the. It's like a package deal, Ron. The Jerry juice and the Jerry.
So we'll pick him up on the way, and we'll be southbound for Lufkin, Texas. And I noticed the last few days I'm an admin on their page, and they're just blowing it up. People are just blowing it up. So they're getting a lot of. It's going to be a big deal.
It's really good for pulling the cross promotion, Ron, because there's going to be a lot of, semi truck fans there. They're going to be like, hey, what's this tractor pull and stuff? And it goes both ways. So it's going to be good for everybody involved. My people are heading out, Chelsea and Chandler, and a couple other people are heading out tomorrow at 11. They're going to drive half of it and then finish it off Thursday. So it's 16 or 17 hours for them. So
and that's what we're going to do. We don't have as far as you. I think it's about 11 for us, but it's still nice to break it up and not have to have so much seat time and driving the truck. But
so what classes are there? Two-wheelers are there?
Supermod two-wheelers, which there'll be a bunch down there with Texas guys. There's a lot of two-wheelers in Texas. Pro stock four-wheel drive, limited pro diesel pickups, and modified tractors. 7,400-pound modified tractors, which Don Nelson has the DT 460 tractor finished, and he's going to be there with that tractor. So,
cool.
And we'll see a few more mods down there that we haven't seen this season. We'll see Brandon Gillen, the Osanado tractor. Of course, Donald's tractor with the DT 460 motor on it. Doug Voth will be down there. Hopefully he's got that tractor fixed up. I know after Colorado, he said the entire ignition system was going back to MSD to be looked at. Hopefully he got that figured out. Should be a great weekend of pulling and diesel drag racing and all kinds of fun stuff and live concerts, and be a good time.
Yep. Mel Nelson. So that video, we have all the video, but we need to edit it up yet. We haven't had time. We got home Sunday night late, and then the girl Chandler and Kensley are leaving tomorrow for Texas already. So I'm saying the next week or so we'll have it up on YouTube. But we sat Mark Ulmer in the bar there at the Beer Garden too, where you always announce where they're watching him back home. That's where Cindy sits and watches him. And we actually put Outlaw Pulling.tv on from about midnight to 2 a.m. And Mark would tell me he wanted Rock Valley this and Madison, South Dakota this, and so I'd zoom through my computer and find everything for him. So whatever Ulmer wanted that night, Ulmer got, Rob. So, yep.
Yeah, I understand you got to tour the shop there and see the various projects in there.
He showed me. I saw the mini rod. I saw Lost. He's not joking when he said there's literally nowhere to step. He's not joking, and there is stuff everywhere in that shop. But
he probably knows where every single part and tool is at.
I'm like, hey, where's the mini rod? Oh, it's back there in the corner. Okay, and you go, yep, there it is. And then it was awesome. He showed us where the straight horse or the workhorse Robbie Russell's super used to sit, and showed us right. I mean, it was it's exactly what I thought it would be. It was awesome.
I've heard the references to Big Mama. I noticed you got a picture of Big Mama.
Yep. Yeah, they talked about that. We put a video. I think I put a reel on. I think on the Outlaw page. I don't remember. We post stuff everywhere. And then we stopped at the Menno, South Dakota sign. So Curtin Taylor. So I stopped in Davis, South Dakota, at this little antique store, and I bought a megaphone, and I had everybody sign it. And I was standing in the street talking on it when Curtin Taylor drove through. And they're like, what are you doing with a megaphone in the middle of South Dakota? Because I want people to know I'm here, So we were having some fun with that and different things like that. And anyway, I took that to the party. We had everybody sign that. And then we stopped at the Menno sign and said, hey, we said, Mark, we came out here to wish you happy birthday, but we can't find you. So we're just going to go home now. And we just having fun with them. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, it looked like it was fun.
I know I could tell you were actually jealous because there's like you texted me 3 or 4 times, and you never do that unless you really need something. So,
yeah, I was curious.
No, it was a good time. There was probably 200-300 people there, easy. Everybody was having a good time, and it's all good to go. So,
the fact that they do carry the Outlaw Pulling TV in both of those bars there is
Roosters
really
and
cool.
the Beer Garden too. Yep.
Yeah, I wish we could get more bars around the country to do that. I mean, it is a sport, it would be cool to get some more bars to jump on or taverns to do that. Would be awesome.
I know, like when Louisville and like Badger State, there's a bar over by Madison that they'll do Louisville, and they always do Gordyville on the live stream as well, because there's a lot of Badger State people down there, and they always do that. Yeah. So I think more people probably do it wrong than they let us know, would be my guess. A lot of watch parties. So we just put the live stream up for Madera, California trying to get that promoted. I'm gonna do a live show with them. I'm flying out to Madison to Dallas, Dallas to Fresno on Thursday. And then that poll, I'm going to do a little bit of announcing out there, kind of be the color guy for them, kind of like I am for you. And then I do just going to get a lot of video, and I'm going to see stuff I think I've only seen one or two of those polling vehicles in real life ever before. So I'm looking forward to it. So.
Yeah. You run into Donnie Reeve, tell him I said, hey, out there, haven't talked to him in a while. And
I put a TikTok. I put a TikTok of his new Ford truck up, and it's got like 100,000 views on TikTok. So it's a clean truck. It's, I think, Performance, built it out of Michigan, and I know he's definitely going to be there. So
yeah, good dude.
Yep.
But,
well, try to go live in Lufkin as much as you can. I mean, before, just to let people know what's going on. I think you should do a live with everybody in the truck tomorrow, Jer and Will. So you keep Will in the back.
On the road.
You keep Will in the back, or do you let him sit up front?
No, we don't let him sit up front.
As I figured.
I can sit in the back.
I asked him to come on the show tonight. Did you see that Facebook post of that little John Deere tractor I found? And I said, Kurt and Dave wanted to buy it. You wouldn't let him because he's. I thought that was fun.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. So, all right, buddy. Well.
Yep, I got an hour and 45-minute drive home yet, so I want to get rolling. Yep.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you from Lufkin this weekend. If you don't tune in, we'll see you Tuesday night next week, 7 p.m.
Awesome. I'm going to play our promo video with the wrong spelling, Ron. It's not on purpose, okay?
Roan Stone. French me. French me. That needs that little accent thing off the E there. So.
Oh, Z-wee-wee.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't leave me yet, Ron.
I won't leave you.
I got to play my video at least. Tell Will I said hi and Jared, okay?
All right, we'll do.
All right.
We may go live tomorrow night.
Perfect.